Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Jane Austen portrays the importance of social status through Miss Hurst. I have an excessive regard for Jane Bennet. She is really a very sweet girl, and I wish with all my heart she were well settled. But with such a father and mother, and such low connections, I'm afraid there is no chance of it. Miss Hurst's critical tone towards Jane Bennet exemplifies that a good personality isn't good enough. The right connections mattered more to their society. Mr. Bingley is first introduced to us with Miss Bennet speaking to Mr. Bennet. "Oh, single, my dear, to be sure, a single man of large fortune. 4 or 5 thousand a year. What a fine thing for our girls!" The tone of Miss Bingley is wistful, as she wishes for Mr. Bingley to take an interest in one of her girls, but also determined to achieve her goals on her own, not just relying on fate and good luck. In doing this, Jane Austen reveals to the readers what kind of personality and goals that Miss Bennet has, and therefore reveals the personality and goals of women back in her era. Jane Austen uses Mr. Bennet's irony. "If your daughter should have a dangerous fit of illness, if she should die, it would be a comfort to know that it was all in pursuit of Mr. Bingley, and under your orders." Rain was a part of Miss Bennet's plan, but suddenly it rained a lot harder. Mr. Bennet's verbal irony shows that Jane Austen found mothers of her society as comedic, due to the lengths they were willing to go to get their daughters married. In Jane Austen's time, when a woman is asked to dance twice by the same man, it usually means something special. "Oh, you mean Jane, I suppose, because he danced with her twice?" To be sure that he did seem as if he admired her. Indeed, I rather believe he did. I heard something about it, but I hardly know what. Something about Mr. Robinson. The tone in Miss Bennet's voice is hopeful and encouraging. When Miss Bennet sees Mr. Bingley dancing with their daughter twice, she is hopeful that it will turn into a marriage proposal. The tone is also encouraging to more of herself than anybody else, to reassure her that Mr. Bingley admires her eldest daughter.
That's my jam!
Soldier Boy, what's up? And I got the new dance for y'all called Soldier Boy. You gotta punch, then crank back 2 times. Why me crank it, why me roll? Why me crank that Soldier Boy, that Superman, that hoe? Now why me you crank that soda? 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 Why me?
The following quote is Mr. Darcy's point of view on the relationship between Mr. Bingley and Jane Bennet in his letter to justify his actions to Elizabeth. "Your sister I also watched. Her looks and manners were open, cheerful, and engaging as ever, but without any symptom of peculiar regard, and I remained convinced from the evening's scrutiny that though she received his attentions with pleasure, she did not invite them by any participation of sentiment." Mr. Darcy really cares for Mr. Bingley, and he wants the best for his friend. At the dance, when Darcy saw that Jane was not flirting back with Mr. Bingley, he became suspicious of her actions and believed that she did not love him for him, but rather only because she was pushed on him by her mother. Therefore, he split up the couple before Mr. Bingley could propose to Jane.